right, today is a beautiful, refreshing June 11, 2024. We're at the New South Road crossing east of Hicksville on the main line of the Long Island Railroad. We're going to cover the railroad crossings on the Long Island Railroad's main line between Hicksville and Ronkonkoma, where trains pass some of these crossings at 80 miles an hour. I don't know of any electric railroad in the United States where you have electric MUs passing crossings at speeds like this. We'll cover all of the crossings to Ronkonkoma. I think there's 27 of them. We'll try to catch at least one train at every crossing. Shouldn't be too difficult. Since the February 27, 2023 schedule change, off-peak services doubled on this line, with trains alternating between Penn Station originating and Grand Central originating trains. At 9:50, he just departed Hicksville as train 2016 from Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. He'll be picking up speed for his dash to the next stop at Bethpage. All right, 9:57, the gates are going down at New South Road for train 2023 en route from Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. Slowing down for his Hicksville stop coming up. Or we move closer to Bethpage at the South Oyster Bay Road crossing. Well, approaching at 10:22 is train 1916, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma, and he's got a brace of Kawasaki M9s. At South Oyster Bay Road at 10:25, the gates are going down for train 1927 en route from Ronkonkoma to Penn Station, as some maintenance away workers are working here at the crossing. We moved east to Bethpage at the Stewart Avenue crossing, just east of the Bethpage station. And 10:53, the gates are going down on Stewart Avenue for train 2025 en route from Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. He'll be slowing to make his Bethpage stop here. Thanks for reminding me, ma'am. Okay, the gates are going down on Stewart Avenue for train 2018 en route from Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. He'll be making his Bethpage station stop here. Absolutely gorgeous day. It's about 70 degrees, nice cool breeze blowing. You could bottle this for the summer and I'll be very, very happy. In off-peak hours on the Ronkonkoma line, the electrification, you got 4 trains every hour. up from 2. Very busy line. High speed, superbly engineered, like the Babylon line used to be years ago with grade crossings. Now that line is completely elevated. You'll notice that eastbound was taking it easy pulling out of the station. The next crossing east of here has a delayed circuit, so he has to creep up to it until the gates go down. We're heading there next. A little ways further east now at the Broadway crossing. This crossing is on a delayed circuit for eastbound, stopping at the station. All right, the crossing gates on Broadway are going down for train 1929, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. He'll be slowing for his Bethpage stop. Coming into Bethpage fast. All right, next up at 11:22 is for train 1918. Penn Station, Ronkonkoma. He's coming into the Bethpage station now. Now the train is stopped in the station. Notice the gates are going up. So these are on a delayed circuit. As the train pulls out of the station, he'll creep up to this crossing until the gates are down. When they're going through the station non-stop, the gates operate normally. All right, 1918 is pulling out of the station and the gates are going down. Off he goes to his next stop at Farmingdale. We'll stick around for one more train. New York and Atlantic RS40 en route from Fresh Pond Yard in Queens to One World Solutions in Lindenhurst. All right, 11:32, the gates are going down for a New York and Atlantic train RS40. Looking down the track, it's got LED lights on the front. Maybe this might be the rebuilt GP38-2 number 268. I remember for the longest time it had a horrible sounding horn on it. First time I've seen that 268 in quite a while, but looks good. They rebuilt it. but it still has that stinking horn. Well, we move further east to the Merritt Road crossing between Bethpage and Farmingdale. And approaching now is train 2027 en route from Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. Well, at Merritt Road, approaching at 11:58, is a train that either signifies perfect vision or a pandemic. Train 2020, en route from Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. We move further east to the swank village of Farmingdale. There are a lot of shops and restaurants here. And there are also 4 grade crossings, clustered close together. We'll catch at least 1 train at each crossing, otherwise I'll be here forever. I can think of worse places to be in forever, though. Farmingdale is a very nice town. Our first crossing at the west end of downtown Farmingdale is Clinton Street. And at 12:18, the gates are going down on Clinton Street for train 1931, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station with M9s, with a bell very reminiscent of the grade crossings that once existed in Lindenhurst before they elevated the tracks in the early 70s. Gates are going up. This is another town that has crossings with delayed circuits, trying to minimize traffic delays while the train is stopped at the station. There they go again. Train is pulling out of the station. Next crossing east is Main Street, downtown Farmingdale. Main Street, Farmingdale. A lot of eateries here. Croxley Ales is a particularly good place to chill out at. How many of you grew up hanging around in your grandmother's kitchen? A lot of people, I'm sure. 12:27, the gates are going down on Main Street for train 1920. En route from Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. People in my grandmother's kitchen get a great view of train action here. Shades of Ashland, Virginia. This house, number 119, which is on the north side of the tracks between Main Street and the next crossing to the east, Elizabeth Street. Since my last visit, a fence has been put up. I don't think it really does much for noise abatement inside that house, but I guess if you have a pet, you really need it, because it could run out and get run over by a train quite easily. I think a small dog could still fit under that fence gate. You could definitely get out here at the corner, unless they have a Great Dane. Many years ago, I had a blind date who lived in Farmingdale, and I was talking to her on the telephone. I could hear train horns in the background very loudly. It's possible she may have lived here. Now here is the next crossing to the east, Elizabeth Street. There are 4 crossings right in town. Bang, 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 bang. All right, 12:50, the gates are going down at Elizabeth Street for westbound 2051, Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. He'll be stopping at the station east of here, and I believe this crossing is also on a delayed circuit. So the gate should go back up when he comes into the station. You'll note he dogged it out of here westbound, as the Main Street and Clinton Street crossings do have the delayed circuits. Well, here's our last crossing in downtown Farmingdale, Seog Avenue. It's a very good place to rail fan. You can get some nice views here. This town reminds me very much of the Babylon line years ago when it was at ground level with all the railroad crossings. That vestige is still visible here in 2024 on this line. All right, the gates are going down on Seog Avenue for train 2050 en route from Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. M7s, that's what I've been seeing most of the day here. Get an interesting view of this train, which is from a completely legal position. Starting to get a headache. Well, we made it to Suffolk County now. We're at the very busy new highway crossing near Republic Airport. A lot of general aviation traffic. We're just east of PW Interlocking. And years ago they used to have a wide track here to turn diesel locomotives on passenger trains. And the gates are going down at 1:28 for train 1950, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. He'll be going through here at track speed. This is a very busy crossing. I'm just going to get this one train here. East to Pine Lawn Station. Got a plaque with a little bit of history told here. Yes, years ago there used to be a Melville station. Just west of the Pine Lawn Station is this Wellwood Avenue crossing. It's otherwise known as Pine Lawn Road. As a kid, this road didn't see that much traffic, but can't say that about it today. Well, here's the Pine Lawn Station of today. 2-track electrified line with 2 high-level platforms. As a kid, it was just 1 track non-electrified with one short low-level platform on the south side. Just a few diesel trains stopped here. Now, much more diverse. I notice a pattern about this station. When Grand Central opened in February of 2023, none of the trains to or from Grand Central stopped here. Now I notice a little bit of an odd compromise. During the week, midday, trains to Grand Central stop here, but trains from Grand Central don't. You have to change at Jamaica. So it's give and take. All right, 150, the gates are going down for train 2053. Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. This is one of those trains that stop at Pine Lawn. Years ago, this was an unprotected crossing with a two-lane road crossing it. And he's got M9s today. This station serves the cemetery district. Of note is the Pine Lawn National Cemetery. The rear of the train is passing over lawn interlocking. And at 202, approaching is train 2052, Grand Central to Ronkonkoma, and he does not stop here. All right, 218, the gates are going down for train 1953, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. He'll be blowing right by. Okay, 230, the gates are down on Wellwood Avenue again. The approach of train 1952, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. And he does stop here. M9s again. Move further east of Pine Lawn, between Pine Lawn and Wanch. That's the Little East Neck Road crossing. I'm not going to get close to it because of the heavy traffic, but we're going to catch 1955 go by here and ride from Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. The gates are going down at Little East Neck Road for 1955, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. Gates are going down on Little East Neck Road at 3 o'clock for train 2056 Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. He'll be flying by here. Further east in Wanch now at the 18th Street crossing. It's the second crossing west of the Wanch station. And the gates are going down on 18th Street for train 2055, Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. Main drag of Wanch, straight path crossing. Here is the new and improved Wanch station. Two nice long high-level platforms, local residences and shops nearby. It's a far cry from what it used to be when it was a diesel-only line, even in the early electrification. Just one track with a little tiny station west of straight path. Gates are going down on straight path for train 1954 en route from Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. We'll be pulling past the crossing and stopping at Wanch. This is an easy train number to remember because that was the year that I was born. Incidentally, the old station was on the other side of straight path on the south side of the tracks. Then there was only one track. And the gates have gone down on straight path at 343 for train 1959. Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. We'll see him pull out of Wanch. We move further east to Deer Park. This is the Carl's Path crossing, east of the old Deer Park station and west of the new one. We'll get a couple of speeding M9 trains through here. And gates are dropping at Carl's Path for train 1956, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. It's nice to hear mechanical bells. The Carl's Path gates are dropping again at 4:09 for train 2060, Grand Central to Ronkonkoma, and he'll have M9s also. Okay, time is 4:15, approaching west at Carl's Path. This train 2057 from Ronkonkoma to Grand Central with M7s. Road for a westbound equipment train. We are further east of Deer Park proper at Comac Road. And the gates are dropping on Comac Road for train 1963. Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. He's just pulling out of the Deer Park station stop to the east. M9s. Approaching at 4:42 is 1958 from Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. M7's on this guy. Well, thus far, I think you can plainly see that trains on this line between stations really fly. That's what I love about this Ronkonkoma line. All right, we moved to the crossing just east of the Deer Park station, or at least that's what they call this station, although it's not really in Deer Park. Executive Drive. And the gates are going down at Executive Drive for train 1960, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. This is a constant bell ringer. And 1960 is pulling out of the station now. Next stop will be Brentwood. gates are going down on Executive Drive for train 1965, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. This crossing is just west of Pilgrim Interlocking. I think they're going down for 1992. 1992, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma, departing at 5:17. Continuing our Ronkonkoma Line grade crossing tour. Today's June 12th, Wednesday, 2024, with Wicks Road, 5th Avenue, between Deer Park and Brentwood. Very busy crossing. Well, the gates just went down at 4:07 for train 1958, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. They fly by this crossing. Here's 2057, Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. Well, we have another eastbound at Wicks Road at 4:12. This is train 2060, Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. Rocking and rolling. Where can you see MU trains going that fast past grade crossing on this railroad? Well, we moved into Brentwood proper. This is the 2nd Street grade crossing. A couple of crossings west of the Brentwood station. Well, 4:27, here comes train 1963 pulling out of Brentwood, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. Still here, get one more train, 1958, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. Gates are going down at 4:47 for train 1960, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma, approaching Brentwood Station. We move just a little bit further east to the 4th Street crossing in Brentwood. All right, the gates are going down at 4:55 for the first of 2 westbound equipment trains. That's awesome. The only other places other than the Ronkonkoma line where you can see MUs go past crossings real fast, Robbins Lane on the Port Jefferson branch, I think they can do 80. And Long Beach Road on the Long Beach branch between Oceanside and Island Park, I think they can do 70 through there. Gates are going down 458 for our second westbound equipment train. On the right-hand side, looking east, La Stacion Deli and Pizzeria. That was the location of the original Brentwood station when this was non-electrified with single track. It was located between Brentwood Road to the east and this 4th Street crossing. Gates are going down at 5:08 for train 1965, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. Coming into Brentwood Station right now. And at 5:09 from the west, I can hear train 1960, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. He's got 12 M9s on him. That was 1965, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. Well, we're in downtown Brentwood now, just west of the Brentwood station. Got a few trains here at the crossing or in close proximity to the crossing. All right, gates are going down for train 2064, Grand Central to Ronkonkoma, 5:29. This is a legal spot. That's a cool shot, huh? Well, at 5:40, this train 1967 stopped at Brentwood, route from Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. See him pull out and blow his horn for the Brentwood Road crossing. here comes 1962. Penn Station of Ronkonkoma. We moved east to the Islip Avenue crossing, otherwise known as Route 111, between Brentwood and Central Islip. This is a high-speed crossing. All right, 6 o'clock. Gates are going down on Islip Avenue for 1056. Penn Station of Ronkonkoma. He was supposed to have M3s originally, but it was swapped out for M7s. Approaching Islip Avenue at 607 is 2063, Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. All right, 2066 is out of the station at Brentwood and heading east. Gates are going down at 608. Closer to Central Islip now at Peters Boulevard crossing. This is just east of CI interlocking. Got some high-speed run-bys here. And right to the west is CI interlocking. All right, the gates are going down on Peters Boulevard at 6:34 for train 1969, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. It's got 12 M9s. Speeding east at 6:37 is train 1060 from Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. 2068 from Grand Central to Ronkonkoma is not too far behind them. The old, well, sort of modernized rocket of old. Almost. The next eastbound is 2068 Grand Central Ronkonkoma. When it first started running with the schedule change in February of 2023, it mimicked very much the old Ronkonkoma rocket that ran in the early years of electrification out here. Made limited stops. 2068 Made Jamaica, Brentwood, Central Islip, and Ronkonkoma, but it's recently been slowed. Now it makes Jamaica, Wanch in all stops. Really the fastest train in the evening rush hour that comes out this way is 1966 from Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. Makes Jamaica, Hicksville, Brentwood, Central Islip, and Ronkonkoma. Not that much express service out here. 1970, which left Penn at 7:14, which was a limited stop train, was dropped. All right, 6:47, approaching is 2068, Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. One of the few really express rush hour trains out this way. He's had a couple of stops added at Wanch and Deer Park, but he'll still be moving pretty fast by this location. This is pretty much the last high-speed crossing we'll encounter on the way out to Ronkonkoma. The old Ronkonkoma Rocket ran out of Penn Station, made Hicksville, Central Islip, and Ronkonkoma when it first started running. Actually, I don't even think it made Central Islip. That was added. Alright, now we're in Central Islip at the Carlton Avenue crossing. It's a little ways west of the Central Islip station of today. This area where this fence is, years ago before this was electrified, this was where the Central Islip station used to be. And there was a block limit station with the call letter CI. And the gates are going down at 6:53 for train 1062, Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. Apparently I'm not the only rail buff here. Oh, we're now at the east end of the Central Islip station at the Lowell Avenue crossing. And 7:03, gates are going down on Lowell Avenue for train 2055. Ronkonkoma to Grand Central.
The 7:09 train to Ronkonkoma is now arriving on Platform B. Please activate e-tickets now and step over the gap when boarding.
Running a bit early. This is one of those rush hour limiteds. This is 1966. Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. He just makes Jamaica, Hicksville, Brentwood, Central Islip, and Ronkonkoma. And he's coming in at 7:07. For a while, this train would often have M3s on it, as did the following train, 1064, from Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. We're almost near the end of our Ronkonkoma Line grade crossing tour between Hicksville and Ronkonkoma. This is Ocean Avenue, just a little ways west of the Ronkonkoma terminal, just west of Ocean Interlocking. Always like to get these crossing mechanisms at work with their mechanical bells. Seems like railroading is being invaded by those E-bells. 732 approaching is train 2070 from Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. 2070 used to be the Ronkonkoma Rocket's number. He's slowing down, approaching his last stop at Ronkonkoma. Well, here we are, Pond Road, the last grade crossing we will cover on this section of railroad. We're just west of Pond Interlocking and Ronkonkoma Station and just east of Ocean Interlocking. All right, gates are going down at 7:55, is approaching his train 1968, Penn Station of Ronkonkoma. Shortly, those gates will be going down again for 2067, Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. That'll be our last train on this epic tour of the Ronkonkoma Line. Central. Ronkonkoma Line, superbly engineered but has some old-fashioned characteristics with all of the grade crossings, 27 in all. You've seen them all. Ronkonkoma Line is a very diverse, goes through some good neighborhoods, some not so good neighborhoods, very ethnically diverse. But it's a busy corridor on the Long Island Railroad, and it's gotten a lot busier since the schedule change and having Grand Central opened.